It's like, just tell me, tell me. And I actually
Yeah,
call, I would call her and be like hoping she would like say it. No.
yeah. Rose was annoying. Um, uh, Although it's not actually Campbell as well,
Mm,
I did like Campbell in two, especially when GW starts glitching out from the virus, and you
mm.
start getting the weird calls from him. Um, I need scissors. 61. I still quote that from time to time when I feel like being random or someone says something random to me and I know they've played too. Um, I know there's a bunch of other stuff. I do like the
Mm.
references to Metal Gear 1 and 2.
Yes.
Get into Outer Haven and Outer Heaven. Sorry,
Mm.
Outer Haven was 4. Um, and having instead of the codec frequency, you've got the like the MSX gameplay
Yeah.
showing up, and then um, when you're in the long hallway where you meet up with Solid again, and he's in his sneaking suit.
Mm.
Your Soliton radar gets replaced by this Japanese model just like lounging around and doing things and like looking at the camera, and it's like, yes, the right after that, the big fight with the Tengu in the circular room, and you
Yeah.
get the fission mailed screen.
Yes.
That did get me like for half a second. My first time through, yeah, maybe a couple of
Oh
seconds,
yeah.
and I was like, "Ah,
I
hold
was like,
on." I
uh,
still had like half health,
I stopped playing.
and it's still going. Yeah.
I stopped playing when I saw it, and then I died.
Fortunately, I managed to just about not die, um, because I started reading what it actually said, and I was like, "That's not mission failed. That's fission mailed."
Yeah. But I was like, it was so programmed. Like as soon as something happens like that, like I failed.
Yeah.
Start over
Yeah.
again. Here we go. And then
Um,
mm,
but yeah. Uh, I didn't really. I knew I missed the games, but now
mm,
talking about my experiences more in depth, I realize how much I've been missing the games. Um, so it's nice to relive, but right now I don't have the facility to replay it. This PC is a bit of a potato, so I can't really run the PC version. I think
mm,
I think they did release Substance on PC, didn't they?
I believe they did.
I think, yeah. Um, so yes, I'm talking about the official PC version. Konami, don't sue either of us. Um, although saying that, I imagine if you tried to get your hands on a copy of that these days on eBay, you're looking at a pretty penny.
Yeah, and then the special slipcase cover
Mm,
as well. I think I found that for like basically more than I'm willing to spend for stuff like that.
yeah,
I was like, I would love to like have all these things like physical copies of it just to like just to hold on to them because like what happened, like they're pretty much like I don't know where they are. They're
mm,
not in the stores. I don't know.
yeah,
Digitally they're gone. And it was kind of slow. It was kind of a slow gone because when they hit that they were gonna take it off, I was like, oh, I got time. And I kind of procrastinated and they took it out. And I was like, I was ready to like punch through a wall. I was like, damn it. It's like, I should just
yeah.
spend the money.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I was like, ah, I've got time. Yeah,
Exactly.
I haven't played them recently, but I'm not in a hurry to play them again, so I can wait a bit. And then they were gone, and I was like, well,
And for some reason, in my brain, how I thought things were going to play out, like, oh, if they're going to go out, maybe they'll put them on sale for a quick purchase,
and
real quick.
sometimes when the digital games get delisted, they do go into a sale, either when they're
Yeah.
announced or right before the end, and just try and go out on that last hurrah. Um, but I've had um, this discussion with multiple people multiple times. With a few exceptions, I don't agree with digital games being delisted, especially when they're digital only. I know
Mm-hmm.
HD collection is available physically, but that's not always the case. It's like um, I can't think of any specific examples, but like on the Xbox 360 with the Xbox Live Arcade games, there's
Yes.
been some that were like exclusive to the 360,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get delisted. It's like, okay, what are you going to do with the code now? Where else are you going to sell it if it's not available
Mm-hmm.
on the system it's made for? What are you gonna do with it? You're just delisting it. You're taking it away for what? FOMO.
I don't know.
But that's another pet peeve.
I
Up
mean,
there with switching to pachinko machines.
I mean, I was for like you were saying like the Xbox arcade games. I was like late to the party, really late on Earthworm Jim HD.
Mm.
And I started searching for it. I was like, oh, it's an Xbox store. Cool. Let me just click on it real quick, try to purchase it. And then it asked me for a code. I'm like, what code? Like, I want to buy it. And then they're like, no,
Yeah.
it's delisted. And I'm like, well, this sucks because I kind
Yeah.
of want to play it. It's like I'm kind of like going through like nostalgia. Like I want to like go back and play some games, especially if it's like restored and remastered. I was like, let me play that real quick.
Mm.
And yeah, it's like things like that where it's just it cuts you, especially with like the newer systems. It gives you a choice where it's like, do you want the all digital one or do you want the one with the disk
The disk
drive?
drive. Yeah.
But this drive is going to cost you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if
And there's less of them, or
mm,
as soon as they're available, they're gone.
yeah,
Um, like I don't have the money available right now, but I do have a rough plan in place where hopefully by the end of the year, providing nothing awful comes up,
mm,
I will have the RRP for an Xbox Series X.
mm,
Um, Fingers crossed by then, price might come down a little bit. Availability might go up, maybe, probably not. Thanks, 2-year lockdown.
I know.
But yeah, so that's what I'm aiming for. But whether I'll get one at the end of the year is a different matter. But yeah, I mean, the idea of an all digital console is a good idea in an ideal world,
Mm-hmm.
but with how infrastructure is and corporate practices, it's not so much. Because I don't have any real experience with PlayStation Network in terms of how they've been handling delisted games. But I
Mm-hmm.
do know with Xbox, with the 360 and the Xbox One, even when stuff is delisted, if you own the license to
Mm-hmm.
download it, you can re-download it. It stays on the servers.
Yeah.
It's just not available for purchase anymore. Pardon me. But I do fear the day that they start backtracking on that. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's how Apple handle things, I believe.
Yes.
I
was gonna say, from experience as a former employee, that's how they handle things. Former.
Yes, but you worked for them.
Not anymore. Thank God.
Yeah, no, I'm Android.
Yeah, me too. I was. No more. Never again. But
yeah, to be fair, the only physical Apple product I've ever owned was an iPod Photo, and that was back when Apple were the best when it came to MP3 players. And I swore by iTunes as well as a music manager on PC, because you could rip music with Windows Media Player, but you were very limited. It didn't have access to CDDB, compact disc database, and it was very limited. The fields of data you could enter for each track. But with iTunes, you'd got everything. Artist, composer, track number, album, and all sorts. So I used iTunes for a really long time. And then iTunes sort of became the beast we know it as now. And it started making some changes, and I eventually got rid of it, which was a struggle in itself, because PC iTunes was notorious for not being able to uninstall it. And you'd uninstall it and then you'd boot Windows back up and it's back, and it's like, no, uninstall. Go away, shoot. But yeah, so getting back to actual what were we talking about actually? Oh yeah, digital games and being delisted and stuff. It does suck having stuff being delisted. I do understand that it's written into the contracts and whatever, but my argument is, okay, but sure, it's in the contract, and then once it's signed, that's legally binding. I get that. But why is it in the contract in the first place? Sure, with licensed music in games, yeah, okay. But then one thing Rockstar have been doing with GTA 5 or GTA Online is, as they're updating it, if music licenses are expiring, they're actually removing that song from and replacing it with other stuff. And I understand that not every developer and not every publisher is able to do stuff like that, but if you've got the money to throw around to get licensed music, then in my opinion, you've got money to throw around to update a game down the line, either to just remove it entirely or replace it with something, or come up with an in-house original soundtrack to replace it, or better yet, maybe start just not using licensed music, especially these days with streaming and DMCAs and muted audio and copyright strikes. either the music industry does need to catch up at times, but there's too much money to make by not